Hi everyone, and welcome to the final video of 2018. Thank you so much for your support this year of this channel. It's been really great. I've loved producing content and love being involved in the community and hearing your thoughts and what you're writing with throughout the year. It's been really great. So today's video, as hinted in the previous video, is the top 5 pens in my collection. A lot of these pens will be familiar to you from other videos of mine, but this is where we're at, and this is what we're sort of covering in today's video. So what I thought I'd do is I quickly show you the pens, do a very quick writing sample with them, and just discuss why these pens are particularly special to me. A little bit different to the top pens of 2018, where I sort of talk about why the pens I think are great as pens. These are why they're special to me. So these are the pens in my collection, and love to know what your top 5s are, of course. Now I want to start with 2 very quick honourable mentions here. These are pens that I adore writing with, that I love, and that are special for me for particular reasons. The first one here is the Pelikan M805. I reviewed this pen earlier in the year, and the green stripe version, the M800, and beautiful pen. Really enjoyed working with it. But the M805, I think I really wanted this particular model because of the silver trim. So this is that pen, it's a really good writing pen. It's smooth, it's wet, it has a great ink capacity. So let's quickly see it in action.
So here we have the Pelikan M805. Now, this is one of the nicest built pens, and it's about as close as I'm going to come to a status pen in a lot of ways. I've got this and the Visconti Homo Sapiens, which are sort of the 2 sort of higher end pens that I like. This is considered, for me, this is a really lovely sort of everyday writer sort of pen. And what sets it apart for me is just the perfect tolerances, the perfect nib. It's just a really super lovely pen. Anyone who has one, if it's the right size for you, it's perfect. This is a medium, and the ink here is Robert Oster Grey Seas. So you can see it's a lovely wet pen, it's smooth, it's beautiful, it fits so well in the hand, and the build quality is just beautiful. Like, those threads are just glorious. So yeah, it's just a lovely pen, and a pen that you sort of covet until you have it. So the Pelikan M805.
The next honourable mention is the Diplomat Excellence A2. I love Diplomat pens. I've reviewed a number of them. I think they write beautifully. I'm a big fan of this pen. For me, this is just one of those pens that just feels right in the hand. It's not a fancy pen, it's not an overly expensive pen really, but it is just one of those pens that is absolutely perfect and writes so well. So why don't we quickly check this out.
Now, I held one of these pens, the Excellence A, in a shop a couple of years ago, and the shopkeeper tried to sell it to me, and I just didn't have the money at the time to spend on this pen. And after doing a bit of hunting around and watching sales and looking for VAT tax to remove and all these sorts of things, I managed to find it at a price that I could afford, and I actually really liked the green as well. So here it is. I did want this pen for quite a while, and I think what made me really want it was when I picked up that first time, how easy it felt in my hand. It's got this great weight. It's this sort of lacquered brass that just sort of sits so nicely in your hand. You know you're holding it, you know you're writing with a really lovely pen, and Diplomat do beautiful things to their steel nibs. So we have the Diplomat Excellence A2 in a medium, and the ink here is KWZ Menthol Green. Lovely pen, just so beautiful in the hand. Had to be an honourable mention.
Well, now we reach the top 5, and there's going to be a couple of pens here, and this first one that might come as a slight surprise to some people who are used to sort of higher end pens being in these top 5 lists. That's not what I'm about. Granted, number 1 on this list is a higher end pen, but for the most part I use pens that are affordable and easy to replace, that are reliable, that write well, that have good ink capacity or good filling systems, easy to clean, all of that sort of thing. As long as they write, I really don't care how much they cost, and this is a great example of that. This is the Faber-Castell Loom. It's an entry-level pen. It doesn't cost much more than a Lamy Safari, but for me this pen just writes so well. It's broad and wet, and it's reliable, and I love it. So this is the Faber-Castell Loom coming in at number 5.
So the Faber-Castell Loom. Now, entry-level pen. This design is not going to be for everyone. I actually really quite like it. I have a number of looms. I think I've got 5 or 6 in different sort of colours and combinations and nib sizes and all that. This was the first one I got. My parents got this for me for my birthday a couple of years ago. Didn't know anything about the pen. I wouldn't have bought it had I seen it on the shelf, I don't think. And I started writing with it and was instantly taken with it. This pen is one of the absolute go-to pens for 2 reasons. So firstly, because it writes so well. I love the way it feels in my hand. Like, it just feels great writing with this pen. But also, if I'm not sure about an ink, I can try it in this pen, either this or the Lamy 2000, and I know whether it's an ink for me or not. If it doesn't write well in this pen, I generally don't sort of go ahead with it. So here we have the Faber-Castell Loom. I think this is like the metallic or something like that version with the blue. It's a medium, one of the broadest mediums, wettest mediums. Like, it's gloriously wet. I just love this pen so much. The ink here is Mont Blanc. Mystery black. Just such a beautiful pen, and so affordable. This is the pen that I recommend to people if they're just starting out with fountain pens. I think it's that good.
Anyone who watches my channel regularly will be familiar with the Lamy 2000. This is an outrageously good pen, and when it's bought from retailers who are having good deals at any particular time, it's a really affordable pen. It's got a great nib, has a decent ink capacity, piston filler, so you know it's a slightly different filling system to the cartridge converters that we do see a lot, and it's a beautiful material. It's well made. Anyone who's written with one of these knows that these are just really special pens. So Lamy 2000 coming in at number 4.
Nothing really needs to be said about the Lamy 2000. I've done a review of this you can find on my channel. It is just such a great pen. I love the design. I love that sort of Bauhaus sort of take on it. It's just, for me, this is the perfect function over form pen. It's simple, it's elegant, and it writes like a dream, as you will see right now. Lamy 2000, and it's a medium again. As you can see, medium nibs are my preference, but even so, you get a nice sort of variance of what is considered a medium nib. The ink here is Robert Oster, again. Oster, and this is eucalyptus leaf. A really lovely sort of muted green. Just to show off that sort of ink there, it's just, yeah, really beautiful. Okay, let's push ahead.
At number 3 is another one of the really affordable pens. This pen is made by the Taiwanese brand TWSBI, and it is the TWSBI Diamond 580. It's not the AL, it's not the ALR, it's just the basic 580. This pen for me is almost the perfect fountain pen. Great ink capacity, really nice Yovo rebranded Yovo nib, steel nib, and it's just a joy to write with. It fits perfectly in my hand, it ticks all my boxes, and it's so close to being my absolute favourite pen if it wasn't for two very special pens that are about to come. So coming in at number 3 on my list today is the TWSBI Diamond 580.
So yeah, another budget-friendly pen, but one of the absolute best in my opinion. TWSBI really have nailed this market. This is the Diamond 580. Now this pen, once again, medium. This pen topped my top 5 list last year, of pens from last year, and I don't regret that for a second. I think this is one of the best pens on the market. If you don't mind a steel nib, and why would you when it writes like this? This is a Yamabudo ink. You know, this is just a fire hose of a nib. It's just super wet. It's smooth. It's, once again, it's that Yovo nib that's sort of been manufactured for this pen. Just amazing. A great everyday writer, great ink capacity. I take this pen with me everywhere. I think it's just one of the greatest pens, and at this price, you cannot beat it. I challenge anyone to, like, yes, there are some issues with cracking and things like that, but TWSBI take care of you. But I challenge anyone to find a pen that is more pleasurable to use in this price range. It is just remarkable.
Second on the list today is a very special pen. This pen came into my collection earlier in the year and sort of immediately heralded itself as one of my absolute favourite pens. It is the Pilot Custom 823. Now, I got this from Japan, so I was able to get the black version. And I love it. It's got a great broad nib on it, lovely ink capacity. I love the vacuum filling system. It's a great pen. I really love this pen so much. And it's not a cheap pen, but because I got it from Japan, I was able to get a really great deal on it. But it's a pen that I write with more than almost any other. Probably only topped in recent months by the first pen on this list. So at number 2, the Pilot Custom 823.
Well, the Pilot Custom 823 really doesn't need any more introduction. It is just such a wonderful pen. It's got a great nib on it. It's perfect in the hand. It's not a cheap pen, but it's such a reliable, beautiful pen. And with that really lovely vacuum filling system, where you can get, you know, a good sort of more than 2 mils of ink in there. This is a perfect pen for traveling. It's a perfect pen for, you know, if you're doing uni classes and things like that where you write pages and pages. This will just keep going and going with you. It's just, you know, absolutely wonderful. The ink here is Ackerman. I think it's 1N. Simplicities Violet. Beautiful ink as well. Not unlike Lamy Dark Lilac in a lot of ways. In fact, it's my choice of ink over, because Lamy Dark Lilac isn't available anymore. You can get this one still, and so I use this as my sort of go-to purple. I think it's just a great ink, and in this pen, it writes so beautifully. So, Pilot Custom 823, number 2 on this list, one of the great fountain pens.
So here we are at number 1. The number 1 pen on this list, no suspense, the Visconti Homo Sapiens Bronze Age. I had wanted this pen for 2 years. I've been eyeing it off. I've been trying to convince myself to buy it for 2 years. And an opportunity came to get one, so I did, and it is one of the best pen decisions I've ever made. The material is incredible. The nib is amazing. The way it writes is beautiful. Partnered with some of my favourite inks like Oxford Blue from Diamond, or the 1864 Blue Black from Diamond. This pen just is a dream everyday writer. I love the size of my handwriting with this pen. I love the way this pen feels in my hand. So there's no surprise that my number 1 pen in my collection this year is the Visconti Homo Sapiens Bronze Age.
So here we have the Visconti Homo Sapiens in some sort of closer detail. You can see sort of that lava material, lava and resin, lava from Mount Etna. You know, it's just such with the bronze trim, it's beautiful. It's a big, heavy pen. like let's just put this in comparison to here with a Lamy Safari. We are talking a pretty good sized pen here, and a really good weight as well. So if you like a heavier pen, a pen that sits heavy in your hand, this is a really great option. Visconti do have some issues with their nibs occasionally. Mine's been pretty good. I do sort of tend to get the tines out of alignment because the way I hold the pen occasionally. But if I write properly with it, it's just such a beautiful writing experience, and it's freaking lava. I know everyone says that, but what a cool material to build a pen out of. So there was no other choice for me. I'd wanted this pen for so long. When I got it and it wrote so beautifully wet and broad, I was just so happy. So Visconti's, there we go, Visconti Homo Sapiens Bronze Age. This is a medium nib. This is coming in at number 1 pen in my collection. The ink here is a Diamond Oxford Blue. Now you can just see from all of that writing how wet this is. It's beautiful. How you can hear how smooth it is. But what's interesting is that little bit of spring in the nib there. So even me as a lefty, I get a little bit of shape in the writing. You get a little bit of sort of fanciness. It's just such a great pen. And having this in my collection makes me endlessly happy. And that's the main thing.
Well, that was my top 5 pens and a couple of honourable mentions in my collection as it stands now. As you can see, I like pens that write well, that write on the broader side, that write wet. This is what I enjoy from the pens that I use a lot. And I get a huge amount of joy writing with those wonderful pens. And I hope you get joy from writing with your pens too. So once again, thank you for your support this year. I've got lots of exciting things planned for 2019. So stay tuned, subscribe and like and do all the wonderful things that you can do. Find me on other social media platforms, Instagram and Twitter, where I am @the_offstage_me. And please get in touch. Get in touch if there are products you think I should be looking at. If you've got questions about anything that I talk about on any of these videos. If you've got ways you'd like to support the channel, get in touch and let's see what we can do. I am looking at getting product sponsorship and sponsorship for individual sort of reviews going ahead. So it's something I'm looking at doing. If there's a way you think you can help, get in touch and let's see what we can do. In the meantime, enjoy the last hours of 2018. Have a great 2019. Enjoy your pens, enjoy writing, and I'll see you soon.